He didn't look back, not once. First came the laugh, too loud, too rehearsed, a synchronized cue just after my joke fell wrong. I knew it as soon as I'd spoken, but it was his reaction that truly split the air. He turned, paused, shoulders rigid. Then he walked away, slowly, deliberately, as if each step were measured to punish me. My phone buzzed in my pocket at the same moment. A message, no name, no emoji. We need to talk, not here. Around me, the room kept moving, glasses clinked. Someone touched my arm. I nodded, performing the part of someone still belonging there. Inside, something began to recalibrate, quiet, efficient. I watched the door he'd vanished through and understood, with surgical clarity, that the laugh wasn't the wound, it was the signal. Whatever truth had slipped out in my joke, it had brushed against something buried, something he didn't want exposed, not yet. My pulse slowed. That's always when I get dangerous. We had been seamless for years, admired, a reference point for stability. He loved the image, the control of it. So the changes were subtle by design. Late nights with vague reasons, a phone always face down, a new softness in his voice that was never meant for me. I told myself it was stress, growth, distance. Lies need cooperation to survive. I was generous with mine. But that laugh, their laugh, cracked the surface. It held history, intimacy, a private joke disguised as public humor. I replayed it, his eyes flicking toward her before he turned, her laughter aligning with his, not mocking me, joining him. He didn't come home that night. His absence said enough. Still, I waited, calm, still. When he finally texted, it wasn't remorse that bled through. It was irritation. You embarrassed me, not us, me. That's when I stopped pretending. I didn't confront, I adjusted. I smiled more, asked less, gave him space to believe he was winning. While he slept, I memorized patterns, login times, the shift in his breath when a certain name lit up his phone, never saved. I requested records quietly. Phone metadata doesn't lie, it only waits. I learned her habits, the cafe, her late nights, the way she leaned into him like she belonged. I documented everything, screenshots, dates, a timeline so clean it could pass for fiction if fiction were honest. The calm was the hardest part. The mask never slipped. He thought secrecy was power. He'd forgotten who he was dealing with. The report arrived on a Tuesday, unmarked envelope, neutral language, devastating facts. I read it twice, not to feel, just to confirm the precision. That evening, I set the table like any other night. He talked, I listened. Then I slid the folder across the wood between us. No words, just paper. His face drained in stages, confusion, recognition, fear. He didn't touch it at first. Say something, he whispered. I didn't. Silence is unbearable when you're the one exposed. He flipped pages with shaking hands, the sound of truth being handled too late. I can explain, he said. I finally looked at him. I know, I replied. That's why I didn't ask. I stood, not to leave, not yet. I told him what would happen next, calmly, clinically, like describing a process already completed in my mind. The separation, the notifications, the conversations he wouldn't be part of. I told him I'd already spoken to the people who mattered. I told him she wasn't special, just convenient. That hurt him more than anything. He reached for me. I stepped back. This, I said, gesturing between us, ended when you walked away and thought I wouldn't notice. I picked up my coat. He was crying now, real tears. Too late. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Outside, the night air felt earned. I walked without urgency, without regret. The joke, the laughter, the moment I wished I'd stayed silent, it had done exactly what it needed to do. It revealed him. People think revenge is loud, destructive, messy. They're wrong. Real revenge is clarity. It's watching someone realize they were never as clever as they believed. I didn't win him back. I won myself, and I never looked back when I walked away.